The house had been quiet for years. Neighbors thought Peter Langley had moved out or maybe died. The lawn was overgrown, the mailbox stuffed with city notices. Curtains never opened, lights never flicked on. It was just another forgotten home in a forgotten corner of Cedar Falls, Indiana. But on a Thursday in mid-July, a 14-year-old boy named Eli Morgan chased his runaway cat across 3 backyards and ended up behind the Langley house. He crouched by the basement window. The cat had pawed its way through the broken screen. Eli leaned in, squinting through the dirty glass. Then he froze. Inside, under a cracked ceiling light, sat a rocking chair, a mattress, and something else. Bones. He screamed. The cat bolted. And by the time Eli's mother called the police, the story had already spread 3 blocks. Detectives arrived by 7:22 p.m. The entire block buzzed with sirens, floodlights, and neighbors whispering across fences. Detective Hannah Cross was the first to go inside. The smell hit her like a punch. She found the remains in the basement. A woman, roughly mid-30s, curled into herself as if she'd fallen and never gotten up again. Beside her was a rotting mattress, old milk cartons, and one small pink Velcro shoe. The medical examiner would later estimate she had been dead for 7 years. Peter Langley had lived above her. For every single one of them, Peter Langley had always been a mystery in plain sight. A retired librarian, soft-spoken, widowed, gave out peppermints to kids at the branch downtown. He was polite, gentle, even wore sweater vests. Drove a 1999 Buick LeSabre, but after his retirement, he simply faded from the town's memory. No church appearances, no grocery store chats, just gone. When the Cedar Falls Police Department began combing through his records, they found something strange. Peter had never reported a missing person, never filed any complaints, never called 911, but someone else had. In 2016, a call came in from a teenager, frantic, crying, "My mom's gone. I woke up and she wasn't here." The dispatcher asked for a name. "Celia Langley. I'm 15. He says she left us." But she wouldn't. She wouldn't do that. "Who's he?" "My grandpa, Peter Langley." Detective Cross played the tape twice. Something about the girl's voice stuck with her. The disbelief, the desperation. It wasn't the voice of someone confused. It was the voice of someone silenced. The responding officer's back then had been shown a letter, typed, neat, supposedly written by the mother, Rebecca Langley. "Celia, I need to go. This life isn't for me. You're better off without me. Grandpa will take care of you. Don't try to find me. No handwriting. No signature. Just a flat, sterile note. The case was closed in a day. But now the body in the basement was confirmed to be Rebecca Langley, Peter's stepdaughter. And Celia? No longer a confused teenager. Now, 21, living in a transitional group home, working nights at a diner. Detective Cross found her wiping down counters at 1:15 a.m. When Cross introduced herself, Celia didn't ask why she was there. She simply said, "Did you find her?" The next hour unfolded like a confession, not from a criminal, but from a child who'd been carrying the weight of an unspoken truth. Celia told Cross what she remembered. Her mom always cried in the shower, always checked the locks, always hid money in the vent. Peter was strict, said it was to protect them, never let Rebecca work, kept Celia home from school often. One night, Rebecca told Celia to pack a bag, said they were leaving, but when Celia woke up, her mother was gone. Peter was sitting in the rocking chair. He said she left because she didn't love them, that she was broken. Celia said she wanted to believe it, but every year that passed, something in her died a little. The autopsy confirmed blunt force trauma to the head, likely struck with the corner of a table, possibly during a struggle. Forensic teams found fingerprints on the underside of the basement door, scratches on the inner frame, signs of a body being dragged. The pink shoe? It matched one from a photo of Celia at age 7. Detective Cross returned to the Langley house days later with a search warrant for the attic. In a sealed box under insulation, she found Rebecca's diary, torn in places, covered in dust. but legible, page after page of fear, and one entry that changed everything. If anything happens to me, tell Celia the truth. He isn't who he says he is. He's not just my stepfather. He's her father. Peter Langley had adopted Rebecca when she was 9, married her mother, took over everything. When Rebecca's mother died suddenly of a heart attack, Peter took custody. The courts never questioned it. Over the years, he isolated her, controlled every part of her life. And when Rebecca got pregnant, she never named the father, but the DNA later proved it. Peter Langley was Celia's biological father, and her grandfather. Detective Cross confronted Peter at his care facility. He was 72, frail, but lucid. At first, he denied everything. Rebecca ran away, said she was mentally unstable. Then Cross slid the diary across the table. And the pink shoe. Peter didn't speak for 3 minutes. Then he said she wouldn't stop screaming. He confessed, not out of guilt, out of exhaustion. He said Rebecca had threatened to leave, take Celia, tell the police everything. He said it happened fast. A fight, a fall. Her head hit the corner. He panicked, buried her in the basement, told Celia's story and stuck to it. For 7 years, he raised his daughter as his granddaughter. Peter Langley was charged with murder, incest, unlawful concealment, falsifying a missing persons report, and child endangerment. He died of a stroke 9 months into pretrial custody. Celia used her restitution money to buy a small house on Oak Street, painted the walls yellow, planted lavender in the front yard. She adopted a dog, named him Hope, and she started something unusual. She wrote letters to other survivors, to women in shelters, to girls like herself. Then she founded a small nonprofit, the Yellow Room, a place for daughters to speak, to reclaim what silence tried to steal. A year later, she stood in front of 200 people at a vigil for domestic violence survivors. She read the final entry from her mother's diary. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but if you do, know that I loved you, every breath, every bruise. You were the only thing in this world that kept me alive. Celia folded the page, looked up. Her voice cracked but didn't break. My mother was hidden for 7 years, but I won't hide anymore. At the old Langley house, the city plans to build a shelter. Where the basement once held silence, there will now be light. And on the wall, next to the doorway, a plaque will read, "For Rebecca Langley." And every woman was told to be quiet. You matter. You always did. Because some stories are meant to be told, even the ones buried in basements, especially those. If this story gripped you, subscribe now and open the next story with us. There's always more beneath the surface.